Parenting alert for you this afternoon. A mother's warning now getting a lot of attention after she posted this photo revealing how her 2-year-old almost died while napping in her bedroom on a hot day. ABC's Mara Schivacampo has more.
During a recent heat wave, 23-year-old mom of 2 Jennifer Abba kept her girls inside to avoid the heat, eventually putting her 2-year-old Anastasia down for an afternoon nap. While there was no fan in the room and no air conditioning, Jennifer says the shades were down and a window cracked.
I came upstairs and it was like a sauna in her room.
But when Jennifer checked on her daughter after about 90 minutes, she noticed something was wrong.
Her face was swollen and red and she was sweating and she felt like somebody lit her on fire.
Jennifer quickly called for help, and when the ambulance arrived, her daughter's internal temperature had reached 104 degrees, her blood sugar dangerously low.
An hour after I was playing with her, basically, was her on her deathbed.
The paramedics treated Anastasia, who woke up after about 5 minutes. Jennifer later posting this picture on Instagram to warn other parents.
The reason I posted it is because I don't want it to happen to somebody else's baby, because it was horrifying. And I know what it's like to lose a child, and I would never want my friends or family or anybody to have to go through something that they can prevent. And now this will do that.
According to the CDC, infants and young children have a harder time regulating their body temperature. A child's body overheating 3 to 5 times faster than adults, and indoor rooms can actually get hotter than outside temperatures.
There's no ventilation. If it has a large window where the sun just pours in all day and heats the room, maybe one room in the house gets hotter than all the other rooms in a house. Sometimes a window being open might not make any difference at all.
And that was Mara Schivacampo reporting. And this just in, you're taking a live look here. This is in North Carolina. Dozens of people, many of them children. They've all been evacuated from a YMCA in North Carolina. This is due to a chlorine leak in a pool. And you can see you've got numerous emergency crews there. The children affected range in age from 6 to 12. A hazmat team also there on the scene right now, working to try and stop that leak. Las Vegas just got a little bit colder as the Vegas Knights practice rink is getting ice for the first time today. Here's a look at one of the facility's 2 ice rinks where the players will be practicing throughout the entire upcoming season. It will also be home to the Golden Knights training camp and to the youth hockey programs. When it's not being used by the NHL, it will be open to the public. And just a reminder to you, the preseason tickets will go on sale at 8 a.m. on August 11. Coming up, a teen arrested at the airport. His rampage on a commercial plane that left the other passengers frightened. Plus, a 1 in a million chance this airport worker hit by lightning while on the job. The dramatic video showing us the moment he was struck. And remember that Chopper 13 is bringing you breaking news fast and first. And some new information this afternoon about a teenager's rampage on a plane. That 17-year-old was taken into custody on Tuesday after he opened an emergency overwing exit and then jumped from his plane after it landed at San Francisco International Airport. Now, witnesses say the boy immediately started running once he hit the ground. He was finally caught by a construction crew that was working on the airfield. Witnesses say squatters started a fire at an abandoned mobile home near Desert Inn in Nellis. The blaze started early yesterday morning on Huerta Drive. Fire officials say it took them 10 minutes to knock it down, battling some heavy smoke and flames. There's not an official cause right now, but a witness tells us that house is known as a hangout for squatters. He heard explosions at that time, which he says came from propane tanks. A dream vacation ends behind bars. A North Carolina woman now speaking out after authorities say they found cocaine on her at the airport. Plus, other tourists are having their vacations ruined by high temperatures. Why their stay is about to get worse. Some new developments on a vacation disaster. A North Carolina woman pleading for help from her jail cell in Honduras after authorities say that she was found with cocaine. Amanda LaRock was on her way back to the U.S. on Sunday when she was stopped by Honduran authorities at the Roatan airport. They thought she was carrying cocaine in a container used to store her valuables called a can safe.
They found an iced tea container that's used to put your money and your jewelry when you're on the beach. And they're saying that the concrete in the can is cocaine.
Can safes are popular among beachgoers and travelers for storing money and jewelry. They usually have white powder surrounding them on the inside to give the safe more weight so that it actually does feel like a drink. That powder, experts say, could be mistaken for drugs. LaRock's husband says the authorities are still waiting on the lab test results on that powder that was found. A Florida airport worker is out of the hospital a week after being struck by lightning. A bolt hit a plane that he was standing next to, sending a surge throughout his body. Take a look at this airplane surveillance video. It shows 3 workers backing a plane up for takeoff. Now, the one in yellow directs the front of the plane. Another man is operating the vehicle that is pushing it. And then here is Austin Dunn in orange there, ducking under the plane's wing. The lightning bolt struck at the plane's tail there and then traveled through Dunn's body, causing him to collapse immediately.
Once we knew he was alive, it was a relief, but it was definitely the most scariest thing. You don't expect it.
Airport officials say that lightning warning systems were activated at the time that Dunn was hit. Heat waves are to be expected this time of the year, but not necessarily in the Pacific Northwest, the area that is usually a refuge for vacationers looking for a break from the sweltering summer heat, now dealing with some unprecedented temperatures. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez has the latest.
A possible historic heat wave in the Northwest, temperatures shattering records. Redding, California suffering through the all-time hottest day ever there, 113 degrees. Portland forecasted to hit 107 degrees. There, people and animals are doing their best to stay cool.
We really are trying to make it a comfortable space for them to be in when it is so warm.
Seattle could also reach triple-digit temperatures, which has only happened 3 times in the past 123 years. Officials warning of the danger of heat stroke, especially since only about 15% of homes there have air conditioning. No surprise that across the Northwest, ACs are now a hot commodity.
Today it's been swamped. We've sold about 130 or 140 pieces of air conditioners.
Cooling centers are open while other people head for the malls, pools, and anywhere they can take a dip.
Being out on the water is great and cool off and get in the shade, yeah.
Searching for some relief, which is hard to come by for firefighters. Battling at least 48 wildfires fueled by these extreme temperatures.
And the heat is not letting up, with triple-digit temperatures in the forecast in parts of the Northwest for at least the next few days. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And now we want to go to 13 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brian Schofield. You look pretty busy over there in the Weather Center. What's cooking up over there?
Yeah, we've got issues of our own that don't really include heat, or at least not heat that we're not used to. Yeah, they're not used to 105 to 110 up there in the Pacific Northwest, so we have to be have some sympathy for them a little bit. But for us, it's all about dark clouds one end, maybe not so much on the other, and that's the way it's playing out. But it may change pretty quickly here, and I'll show you why. 103 North Las Vegas, so we knew temperatures today would not be to near 110 like in so many areas yesterday. So that has changed. That's nice. Humidity levels certainly did come up a few ticks there, and they're going to come up a little bit more for the next few days, especially, maybe a lot more. Nellis Air Force Base, 105 degrees there. Our chances really start to ramp up, not only tonight, because we're thinking early evening we could really see some active weather, but even for the next few days before it starts to drop down, believe it or not, this time around in time for your weekend to settle things down a little bit. Here's your desert Doppler picture. Showed you that earlier. Let's go right to where the storms are that'll affect us quicker, and that's this batch right here. Whether they hold together or not is irrelevant. It's just the fact that they're marching their way this way, bringing added moisture this way. It'll get much deeper. You folks in Mesquite have kind of a front row seat to what's outside your area. Keep in mind that could affect you quite easily within the next hour or two. For the valleys, not so quickly. It might take till early evening. Let me just show you what Futurecast is pulling out. That's the 7 o'clock Futurecast. Looks pretty active around us by about 8 or so. It drags its way through the valley. Pop-up storms here and there. You folks in Pahrump are already getting some heavy rain out there, and certainly those lightning strikes. And then it starts to push its way through, but not quite over even through the midnight hour. It just lightens up a little bit through the early morning hours. So that's what we're going to contend with for tonight, for tomorrow. So now we're starting to get into the thick of things, looking at 80s overnight. Thunderstorms with stronger gusts are possible. Another shot in for tomorrow as well, especially with a little daytime heating. That'll keep temperatures down, probably the coolest day of the week. So we'll keep them scattered through Friday. Maybe a stray one over the weekend. Next week's not looking as promising as it was for the start.